Okay, semantics. Semantics is the study of meaning in language, and that's a deep sentence just in itself. So it's studying the inner meanings inside of language. Quite often we're just babbling out words and long sentences, and we're retaining this as we're speaking along, blah, 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 blah. But if you slow things down and look at it, like you would do whenever you study the Bible or really trying to figure out what something actually says, the actual true hidden meanings, or secret meanings, if you want to, behind things, are what it truly means, not necessarily something that's secretive. For example, destination and last stop technically mean the same thing, but students of semantics analyze their subtle shades and meanings. Um, I keep finding, every time I look up just definitions and things like that, it seems like it always pertains to this stuff that we're looking up and trying to study. Destination and last stop. Well, destination, destiny, nation. And is that your last stop? Is that the last stop? Is it your destiny to be at that last stop? It's that's what they're looking at, is semantics, meanings, things like that. To correctly pronounce semantics, which is a singular noun even though it ends in s, accent the second syllable, semantics. In the late 1800s, Michael Briel coined the term semantique, describing the psychology of language. That French word has its origin in Greek semantikos, which means significant or significance of something, and comes from semein, to show, signify, indicate by signs, or a singular sign would be semain, which ironically comes out to Samhain, and its significance, the significance that it had. Semantics, it's the root word of semen, to give meaning, to impart the meaning on something. Semantics. There are Semite people, anti Semitic people. This has the same root meaning. It's people, the people say, don't pick on semantics. Well, I'm looking here at what semantics is then. Well, it's the root meanings of words. Why wouldn't you pick on that? That's how you're going to find knowledge. That's how you're going to find better things. Well, I look at the reason the derogatory term was involved is that Rome enjoyed the Christian teachings and thought that it had the same exact teachings as theirs, but yet the Hebrews, due to simple small semantics, were saying that it was not at all, and that your gods are all fake plasticky little guys and our God's the real God. And they were like, no, no, you got it from our pantheon and everything. Everybody's the same guy. We know that. Don't. Another definition of semantics is the philosophy of language. Um, well, philosophy, let's look at that. Philo is love, and Sophia is knowledge. That's a secret thing in the Christic annuals. It's the reason the Templars actually were killed off was from the knowledge, the Sophia that they were worshiping, that had to do with everything, that they had probably just a little bit too Romanized themselves, and things is the way it's looked at by other people from then. But there was something hidden inside of that. Regardless of that, though, philosophy is the love of wisdom. And so it's the love of wisdom in words and language and what you can get out of it. And there's surely nothing wrong with that. So Semites, or Semitic people, is a term um, derived from Shem, the Hebrew word, for an ethnic culture or racial group who speak or spoke the Semitic languages, which are the languages of the entire area of the Fertile Crescent, not just this one selected people. The terminology was first used in the 1770s, around our independence years, not thousands of years ago, by members of the Gotland School of History, who derived the name from Shem, one of the three sons of Noah in the book of Genesis. The term Semites, together with parallel terms Hamites and Japhethites, is now largely obsolete outside of linguistics. However, in archaeology, the term sometimes used informally as a kind of shorthand for ancient Semitic-speaking people. Well, that makes sense, but nobody seems to care about the Hamite or the Japhethites, if there's any anti-Japhethite going on, or anti-Hamites. Just saying. The racist classification, though. Semite peoples were considered to be members of the Caucasian race, not dissimilar in appearance from neighboring Indo-European, Northwest Caucasian, Berber, Kurdivalian, all the people of the Greeks and all of that. Some recent genetic studies have found by analyzing DNA of Semitic-speaking peoples that they have common ancestry, although no significant common mitochondrial ancestor is derived at that. So they can't say, well, it all comes from one, but these all come from a common, and they're all part of one. Part of one, people. Down at the bottom, it says genetics does indicate that modern Jews, Ashkenazi, Sephardic, Masoretic, Levantine Arabs, Assyrians, Sumerians, Maronites, Druze, Mandeans, Monolemi, North Africans, everybody, all these ancient indigenous common Near Eastern heritage, which can be genetically mapped back to the ancient Fertile Crescent, but often to display genetic profiles distinct from one another, indicating the different histories of each of the people. So, slight differences in people, but, hey, we've got New Yorkers and we got Texans, but that's not enough to cause a problem, is it? Well, apparently in the ancient world, that's all that it really was. So simple phrasing or the way people look at things all of a sudden causes, discrepancies and differences in people, and perhaps that's what caused the different people to separate from each other, was like, I say green, you say blue,